What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Underground Crypto. Today, deep dive review, call it what you want, of Qubic. A lot of bold claims, a lot of innovative things that they're trying to do here in the space. Can they deliver? We don't know, but we will get you the facts and the juicy details. And with that, no delay, let's hop right over to Nova and get into this thing.
Hello, Underground Crypto family. Qubic is a futuristic Layer 1 blockchain that fuses AI and crypto. Built by Sergey Ivancheglo, co-founder of IOTA, it uses useful proof-of-work miners train neural networks instead of wasting energy, helping power a decentralized AI system called AI Garth. It runs on a feeless instant transaction model, with 676 validators called Computors, reaching consensus through a Quorum-Based Computation system. Its native token, Qubic, fuels smart contracts and is distributed weekly. Underperforming validators even get their rewards burned, promoting efficiency. The Qubic ecosystem is community-driven, aiming for AGI through decentralized neural network training. It's actively traded on major exchanges and gaining traction as the intersection of AI and blockchain. Here is a video I pulled from their website. We will be going over their website later, but for now, check this out.
We introduce you to Qubic, a quorum-based computing chain that's redefining the landscape of digital possibilities. Qubic is a system in which decisions are made via the quorum, a dynamic assembly of validators. We call these validators computers, and 451 of the total 676 computer votes are needed to reach a final result. This is the heart of Qubic, a dynamic ecosystem that aims to decentralize power, promoting healthy competition for the system's best interests. It's not just about technology, it's about empowering people like you. Qubic also has its own coins, which can be earned by computers. Qubics can be transferred feeless and also act as energy units in the Qubic ecosystem to run smart contracts, oracles, and much more. Qubic takes proof of work to the next level with useful proof of work. This isn't just about securing the network, it's about transforming computational power into something valuable. By integrating AI training, Qubic's goal is to direct this energy towards the progression of machine learning. It's not just a protocol, it's a force for positive change. Qubic smart contracts are more than just lines of code. They execute over 40 million transfers per second, revolutionizing the way digital agreements work. And here's the twist. Every smart contract is unique, with shares auctioned via an IPO. Shareholders can gain passive income through smart contracts, while the IPO and smart contract execution is burning Qubics to ensure the possibility of a deflationary ecosystem. It's not just about contracts, it's about creating new economic opportunities. In Qubic, oracles are more than just lenses. They make smart contracts even smarter by resolving events through trustworthy data, such as stock prices, sports scores, or sensor readings. The quorum-based computing ensures the integrity of the information collected, preventing any foul play. Oracles are not just data collectors, they play a key role in burning Qubic and ultimately act as guardians of the truth in the digital realm. Qubic isn't just a protocol, it's a pathway to true solutions. Smart contracts, oracles, useful proof of work, true AI. The possibilities are limitless.
All right, everybody, here we are over at the CoinGecko page, as we always do. Sorry for the cheesy kind of promotional video. I thought it did a really good job of breaking down the ecosystem and explaining some things that are necessary when we go over their website, kind of making that part of the video a little bit quicker. And hopefully, if you don't have the time to watch the full video, it gave you an understanding of the things that you needed to understand as somebody who may be allocating some funds to this project. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. With that being said, if you need financial advice, go find a financial advisor. I hope that's a good enough disclaimer for everybody. And what you do with your money is your choice. Nobody on YouTube should be, responsible for what you decided to do with your money. Anyways, this project is down 11.4, 11.5% on the day. It's number 330 by market cap, so climbing, it's up there. And it kind of came out of nowhere. I haven't seen this project, be around for a long time. I have the monthly chart pulled up here. This is not a TA show. If you like TA, go check out Crypto Lifer on YouTube. He's the best, in my opinion. But you can see we kind of had a big slump here in price, and then this big run up to not an all-time high, but a high for this monthly chart here. And then, of course, started to give some back. Now, it has $141.4 million in its market cap, which I think is not too high, not too low. This is a layer 1 project, so naturally, these things can go way farther in market cap if they are legitimate. Is Qubic legitimate? Is it going to deliver on the claims, be around for the long run? We don't know. So take that with a grain of salt, all of the bold things that they claim that they're going to do. Now, max supply 200 trillion tokens, circulating supply 115.9, call it 116 trillion tokens. So there's a lot of tokens not fully out yet, but that's okay. I'm sure they have a vesting schedule. Hopefully they give us some more information about that on their website. But anyways, what you really need to know is market cap divided by the circulating supply is giving you the price per unit, price per coin, token, share, whatever you want to refer to it as, doesn't really matter. And don't be intimidated by there being 5 zeros in front of the number. It's not really a big deal. What's most important, in my opinion, is how many coins are in the circulating supply, market cap, and we're talking about tokenomics now for people that don't understand where we're going with this. This is tokenomics of a project. Market cap, circulating supply, max supply, and the discrepancy between the circulating supply and the max supply. All right. It might have been a little nerdy for some of you guys. Website, we're going to be going over that. Twitter, we will do our usual Twitter smell test. But what we really want to look at is if you're excited about this token at the end of the review and you want to buy it, here's where you can buy them. So Mexi Global, not sponsored or affiliated, but I certainly do use that exchange and I like it a lot. It can be a little hard to use without a uPoW ID. I will have a link for that in the description if you're interested in that. But that kind of lets you trade anywhere you want without having to worry about your funds getting locked out. I think it's worth the money. You make that decision for yourself though. Gate.io, xt.com, BitGet, all the usuals. These are all centralized exchange. Let's see if we can go to page 2 and find no, I don't see a decentralized exchange. And what? Okay, it's its own layer 1. I was going to say what blockchain is this on? It's on its own blockchain, right? Because that's what makes it a layer 1. Their website looks pretty well put together, guys. So forget what you know. Qubic is a high-performance layer 1 blockchain enabling instant finality, feeless transactions, the fastest smart contracts built on useful proof-of-work protocol. It's the first to integrate artificial neural networks for the future of artificial general intelligence. A lot of big words there. So they are having this evolved thought and use case for proof of work, trying to make it better, trying to get rid of some of the things people have complained about. Bitcoin is proof of work and has been heavily scrutinized for it. Ethereum used to be proof of work and has moved to proof of stake. I feel like most of you know that, but it's worth saying. So they're trying to evolve that and put out something innovative. Now, with projects that try to do something innovative, it rather really works or it really doesn't work as far as being better than what's already out there. We have layer 1s, we have Solana, we have Base blockchain, and of course Ethereum. And most people are not paying a lot of attention to Ethereum, but Solana is out there really rising to the top of the layer 1s along with Base blockchain. Anyways, you can join Discord, you can go to markets and check that out. We want to keep this somewhat short, but we still want to deliver the facts, right? Open innovation. Qubic is fully open source from day one. Every development, every improvement, every innovation is transparent, accessible, and community driven. You ever had to talk in front of a large group of people or in class? It's when you mess up all the words. If I was sitting here by myself, I wouldn't mess up any of these words, right? Maybe. I don't know. Forget fees and delays. Forget what you know about blockchain payments. Qubic offers fast, feeless transactions with instant finality. Your transactions are secure and finalevent, offline, fast, free, and reliable. I've never heard that word before, but it's obviously coming from the root word of finality or final, which means to be done. If you're wondering what is finality, it's when the transaction is actually done being transacted on the blockchain explorer and things, and so it is fully done processing your transaction. I hope that makes sense to everybody. All right, keep going here. Turning energy into intelligence. This is one of the big things about this project. What they're saying is, and this is the scrutinizing that most people have done for proof of work, right? So proof of work is this big claim that it wastes a ton of energy. So they're saying, hey, if it wastes a ton of energy, we like the format for proof of work because it's really cool. That's how you can mine. You can't really mine with proof of stake other than, of course, staking protocols. but it's very different from actually mining like Bitcoin was back in the day. So they want to take that excess energy and use it to program AI models. Hopefully you got that from the cheesy promotional video that I played kind of explaining the ecosystem. Hopefully you picked that up. So that's kind of the whole thing here. And with everybody kind of in this race for AI, and if you want to have an AI, you need to train an AI. If you want your AI to continue to get better and be better than your competitors, you have to continually train it. So they're like, let's use our extra energy from the proof of work blockchain to train our AI models. Oracles. Qubic oracles will connect the real-world data with smart contracts and AI garths, AI models, enabling real-time data integration for smarter, more dynamic applications. So AI garth is their AI, like Grok is Twitter's AI or X's AI. So that's what they call their AI, and their AI models all put together in things is called AI garths. Now, I'm not an expert on AI, so if I said any of that a little bit wrong, hopefully you guys don't kill me in the comments. I'm just kidding. Kill me in the comments. Go ahead. Put that down there in them comments and get them comments going. It runs up the algorithm. All right. Smart contract, IPO. Qubic smart contracts launched through an IPO model enabling passive income and novel economics for apps. Smart contracts, or Qubic, are capable of achieving over 55 million transfers per second. Now, I was doing a little bit of research on this because that is one heck of a claim. I mean, that's more than Visa, MasterCard, and a whole bunch of other things all put together. I don't know the exact math on it, but that is crazy fast. Can they actually deliver that right here, right now? As far as I understand, no. And they don't have a lot of paperwork backing this up, explaining how they're going to do this, which makes some sense because why would they want to tell all their competitors how they're doing this? And are they actually doing that? I don't know if that's actually a functioning thing, but they are making that bold claim. I want to make that distinction. AI Garth, AGI by 2027. So they think by 2027, AI Garth is going to be, powered by Qubic, drawing intelligence from hundreds of thousands of Qubic miners to create billions of artificial neural networks, ANNs. It's the foundation of our journey towards true decentralized intelligence. So, as most people in crypto wanted from the beginning, decentralization, mostly what we've found is actually centralization in crypto. But AI can kind of build that decentralized world that everybody originally wanted, but a lot of those people are scared of AI. So it's kind of a funny conundrum. All right. So about the founder, we briefly touched on this. Nova mentioned it. Founder by Come From Beyond, or CFB as he's called, is an innovator behind the first proof of stake, NXT, and DAG architectures. IOTA is the project that he's mostly looked at for being a part of. Qubic is driven by a bold vision. Here, decentralization meets intelligence, empowering communities to shape the future of blockchain AI. There are, looks like, just some references to this Sergey. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Bless Nova for being able to say it. I'm terrible with that kind of thing. Anyways, moving on. Here's all the places you can get it. We had kind of already covered that. Secure your Qubic. So they do have their own official wallet. Of course, you would have to, because this is a layer one. It's got different coding and economics and things than all the other blockchains. So how compatible, or what we would call interoperability, is it with that's just how well it works with other blockchains. Can it connect? Can it speak to other blockchains and work in unison, right? So right now it's kind of its own little isolated bubble. And so you're going to need to get your wallet from them. So they have a web wallet and a mobile wallet. That makes it super easy. Available on iOS, available on Android, available on your computer. If you're a miner, you're going to want to have a wallet. That just makes sense. So I would certainly do a little bit of research. This is just my opinion, but I have seen in the past, this project looks quite legit in my opinion, so I wouldn't worry as much, but you always want to do your research. Go find somebody on YouTube or somebody who shows you how to set up your wallet or something, just so you can make sure the wallet is legitimate, because on really scammy projects, you got to remember, to get the wallet, you got to download something. And if they're really scammy, that's where they can get you. I just want to point out that kind of place where you can make yourself very vulnerable. I think it might be better to go with an iOS wallet, to be honest with you, because Apple's a little bit better about making sure that you can't, get any scammy malware, that kind of stuff. All right, enough of that. Start building today. So if you are interested, or somebody who is building on blockchain, I'm interested that you're watching my video. That's great. I don't know why. There are much more techie people than me, but thanks for being here. Here's their grant programs and their incubator programs. So if you want to build on this ecosystem, this is where you can get involved. I'm not sure what kind of programming models they use or any of that kind of stuff. And right down to frequently asked questions. We're not going to go over all of these. As you can see, what is Qubic? Super long answer. Bore you guys to death. But a couple of these things are probably worth going over. What is the difference between proof of work and useful proof of work? All right. Kind of gave my own explanation. Let's see what they say. Typically, POW is employed to secure the blockchain, calculate blocks in the blockchain, and handle transactions. With miners performing these tasks, traditional POW uses computational power solely for solving a mathematical task, resulting in a considerable energy waste. However, Qubic's useful proof of work sets itself apart in this regard. Even if all mining were to cease, the Qubic ticks would persist, as discussed in the section, What is the consensus algorithm for Qubic? So that would be the one above that we didn't read. All right. In Qubic's useful proof of work, miners are tasked with different objectives, and the useful proof of work protocol channels computational power away from a wasteful mathematical calculation. Instead, it directs this computational power towards training an artificial neural network, or networks, and that is their AI that they're training, large language model. This strategic utilization, I don't know why that word did not look like English to me. The strategic utilization taps into the network's substantial computational capacity, advancing machine learning and effectively repurposing the energy that would otherwise be squandered in traditional proof of work protocols. Wow, that was a lot to get through. I love this bright light in my face. All right, I should edit that out, but I won't. All right, here's what I think most people would want to know. Can I send Qubic tokens to my EVM wallets like MetaMask? Currently, it is not possible, as Qubic is complete new protocol with unique hardware requirements and works different than other protocols. Qubic devs are working on interoperability. There's that word we touched on before, how well it works with other blockchains, solutions that will allow standard industry wallets to support Qubic in the future. Whether they implement Qubic for their wallets will be up to each wallet vendor individually, right? Keep coming down. And then, of course, as somebody who may be investing in this project, burn mechanism is very important. Currently, there are two burn mechanisms. By initiating smart contracts through an initial public offering, an IPO, where the costs for shares are burned, and also by executing smart contracts. Later, two other mechanisms will be added, which is having oracles burn Qubic while providing the Qubic chain with real-world data, real-world data. The usage of AI garth will also be a later added mechanism to burn Qubic. Wow. Got to catch my breath there. Hope you guys enjoyed this part of it. We're going to hop over to the roadmap. This is just the very face of their website. Has a lot of information. Let's go check out their roadmap. Threatening to make this video a very long video. So up here we have, you see it says planned, coming soon, and done. So we have Q1, which was January 1st to March 31st. And you can see they did have this cool Madrid hackathon. Hackathons are something that are done for projects to try to find vulnerabilities in the code. So that is really important, honestly, for every project. And then them just having a hackathon shows a lot of things of legitimacy to me personally. This is my personal opinion. One, they're real enough to have people to put together something. Hackers actually came and they had an actual code for them to look at, because if it was all fluff and they just made a website, as some scammers and people do, and say a bunch of things, but there's no real code, there's no real product behind anything of what they're saying. And this is other projects, I'm not referring to this one. They're not going to have a real hackathon because there's nothing for hackers to actually look at, right? So I think that gives it a little bit of legitimacy. Legal entity they've established, coming soon, this Qubic clog port. I'm not technical enough to know what that is. Wallet contracts. Wallet Connect, MetaMask Snap, Python SDK, 2 terabyte computers, Ambassador Program Season 2, Quantum Protocol, this ONZI, Public Testnet, multi-signature, MS Vault, Rust SDK, and reduce tick time to 2 seconds. So these were all things that they wanted to accomplish, and they say they have accomplished. I was just reading the ones that are done, right? These are things they've actually claimed that they've done. So then let's move to the coming soon. We have custom mining POC, Qubic Elasticsearch, 2.0 RPC architecture revamp, Qubic Academy, and that's all for Q1. And so everything in Q1 has rather been done or is coming soon. It's not just planned, right? So let's go down to what is going on here. Cut off half of the thing. All right, Q2. And all they have done in Q2's checklist is Docker test node. And so there's a lot of things here. You can kind of go over this on your own time if you want to go to the roadmap, or you can skip this if you're not interested in this. I like to see roadmaps, and here's why. I'm going to go ahead and just stop here for a lot of people that probably don't want to hear all of these things. I just really wanted to cover the things that they actually have said that they've already done, right? Roadmaps are really good because if you go, take a meme coin, for example. If you go to the roadmap, a lot of times it's a bunch of really silly, vague things like, we're going to do good on social media in Q2. And it's like, okay, what does that even mean? There's no measurable milestone. We're like, this says public testnet, Wallet Connect, MetaMask Snap, a Madrid hackathon. You see what I'm saying? Like, these are real things that you're going to be able to look and say, they really did this or they really didn't. Now, we do these reviews here on Underground Crypto, but a lot of what I'm trying to show you is what to look for, how to do your own research, how to get a little bit more in depth and look at things and kind of know an absolute, scam or fluff of a project from something that's a little bit more legitimate, right? Something that has some meat to it. They give us measurable things that if they say they did, we know if they really did them. And when we go to their Twitter, you'll see the Madrid hackathon. They of course have a lot of photos and pictures from that. And I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Let's go ahead and hop over to the Twitter smell test. All right, here we are over on their Twitter, right? Forget what you know. Where have we heard that before? That was on their website. Here's their logo so that you could pick that out anywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and give them a follow. If you could follow me on X, I'd greatly appreciate it. That is Crypto Ron with the blue check mark. Don't know if I have any imposters yet, but I'm sure they're coming soon. I'm not messaging you. If somebody is messaging you claiming to be me, it's not. Just know that. All right, they got the gold check mark. I got this Twitter directly from CoinGecko, as I always do, so I believe it to be the legitimate project's Twitter, right? 94.6 thousand followers. The Twitter smell test is really just a basic look at the amount of followers versus how many impressions they're getting on their posts. And it's really done mostly for projects where we are questioning their legitimacy to see if they're buying engagement. So 94.6 thousand followers, and their pinned posts, which pinned posts will generally have the most impressions, 110. It's all around their Madrid hackathon that they did, which is really cool, and I think gives them some legitimacy. You can see there were real people there. They were doing real things. There must have been a real code for hackers to look at, right, and try to find exploits. So that's cool. 110 more impressions than their followers. That's what we're really looking at here. And then you could use both a post that is very new and a post that is much older are good metrics, right? So here's from an hour ago, just a simple AI image with a birthday cake with their logo on it. And it only has 3.2 thousand impressions, but that is only within an hour. I would actually say that's pretty good. Come down April 15th, so this would have been a day ago as from the time of recording, and it has 11,000 impressions. That's good. You know, you're looking at over 10% in a day, and it's nothing super exciting. It's just a meme with some words above it. And then we will come down here, April 12th, so a few days ago. It was a Q&A. These kind of Q&A posts usually get a little bit more impressions because people who are actually interested may be interested in actually going and listening to this Q&A. 17,000 impressions. Nice. Getting closer to 20% here. And then I like to come down and pull something from farther back, right? So here's a post they did about burning some of their Qubic tokens. It got 36,000 impressions. This is something that I think would excite most people. And it says the first NFT marketplace on Qubic is now live. So that's cool. That's exciting. That might get more people to engage. 36,000 impressions. And we'll keep coming down, check something else out. Here's something it seems to be. It says final hour to get Qubic Bay smart contract shares. It got 27,000 impressions. So I would say that this looks legitimate. Doesn't, obviously, in my opinion, doesn't look like they're buying engagement, or they would have through the roof engagement, impressions, that is, and some, you know, far less followers. Like, say they were getting 100,000, 150, 200,000 impressions on all of their posts, and then we had like less than 100,000 followers. That would look a little fishy to me, right? It's just something to keep in mind. It doesn't mean you have to believe it is or isn't legitimate just based off of that, but it certainly gives you a metric to go by. And I'm really trying to show you guys how to look at things yourself. Now, at this point in the video, I usually do my 1 through 10 gut rating. This is just my opinion. I would give this project a 7. The reason why I'd give it a 7 is because it is a layer 1 project. Traditionally, layer 1 projects have had the best return on investment. But there are a lot of projects that are layer 1 that come out and they just don't do well, you know? Not everybody can be Solana and generate all of this hype around their product. This is a very techie product, so I would expect less people to be excited about it unless you're an investor or somebody who's super into crypto like me. Now, if you're still here at this part of the video, I appreciate it. Hit that like, share, subscribe if I haven't already said that. Always forget to say that in my videos. And I thank you for watching this video. Welcome to Underground Crypto, and I'll catch you on the next video.